everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I want to show you how to play 3 cool riffs from Queensryche. So the first few albums of Queensryche with the classic lineup are some of the best albums that have come out in my opinion. I really like everything up through, well, even Empire had a lot of stuff I liked, but kind of after that I kind of lost my interest. Also, right now you can get this cool free chord chart you can download from GuitarControl.com. So there's a link down in the description. Click on that, download the chart. It's in PDF format, and you can print it out, and have it just wherever you're, practicing and stuff. So at a glance, you can get any chord that you might ever need. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. All right, so the first one we have is Operation Mindcrime. So this one we're going to start off. We're on the 2nd fret of the low E string with your 1st finger, and then we're going to go to the 4th fret of the A string with your 3rd finger, and then back to the 2nd fret of the low E. So these are 8th notes, so it's like 1 and 2, and then on the and of 2, we're going to do like a almost kind of like a slide from nowhere to the 5th fret of the A string. And then that's tied to a half note, so it rings out for the rest of the measure. So that's also tied to the downbeat of the 2nd measure is a dotted half note. So it rings out for a total of 5 beats. So beats 3 and 4, and then beats 1, 2, and 3 of the 2nd measure. And then we're going to come up to the 7th fret of the A string, and we're going to pick that and slide out of it. And then it just repeats. So it plays that sequence 3 times before it goes to the next part. So here on the 4th ending, we'll have, so we come down, we do a B5 power chord, so 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then the 4th fret of the D and G string, and then to an A5, and then to the open low E string again. Alright, and then so for this next little part, we start again here on the 2nd fret of the low E, and this time when we go to the A string, instead of just being the 4th fret of the A, we're going to get the 4th fret of the A and the D string. And then the low E open, and then a D5. So for this D5 here, it's just like a regular D chord, but we just don't play the high E string. So when I make the transition, I just drop down my 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and my 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. So that's the first 2 measures. And then on the and of 4 of that 2nd measure, we hit the open low E again, back to the 2nd fret, the 4th fret on the A and D, the open low E, the D5 again. So it's more or less kind of the same thing. Then to an E5, so I'm just going to move my 1st finger straight down, so now I'm just going to bar the 2nd fret of the A and the D string, and the low E string is open. And then we've got this A5 over E. So if you just bring your finger up like you're going to do an A major chord, so I'm just barring the 2nd fret of the D and G string. And then the note on the G string moves down to the 1st fret, but the note on the D string stays on the 2nd fret. And then it just repeats. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is Queen of the Reich. So this is a fairly easy riff. This was the very first Queensryche riff I ever learned. I was in a couple of different bands that covered this song. So we start off, so we've got the low E string played 4 times open, pedal is like 16th notes. Okay, so then we have this B5. So we're going to take our first finger and we're just going to bar the 2nd fret of the A and the D string like we're playing an E5, but then we're also picking up the 4th fret of the G string. Now if you don't get that, like if that's uncomfortable and you're having trouble getting the note on the G string, you can omit it and it's okay. So we have and then 4 more pedals, and then we're going to add our 3rd finger here onto the 4th fret of the D string to make this B5, and then the pedal again. So that's the first measure. And then on the 2nd measure, we just move up a half step to C5, then the open A string, back to the C5, and slide to D5. So we just slide up a whole step. So it's like... So pretty cool riff, not too hard to play, but it is a pretty cool riff, I think. Alright, and then the last one we're going to look at is I Don't Believe in Love. So this one's a little bit more challenging than the previous ones have been. So we start off, we rest, on this first measure, we rest the first 3 beats, and then we come in on the and of 4 with this C5. So 3rd fret of the A string with my 1st finger, and the 5th fret of the D and G string with my 3rd finger. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we hit that. And then immediately follow that with the open D string on the downbeat of 1 on the 2nd measure. Now this is where it gets challenging because we also have to move up here to be ready on the and of 2 with this D5 power chord. So my 1st finger is on the 7th fret of the G string, and my 4th finger is on the 10th fret of the B string. So getting that transition in time can be challenging, so just play it really slow until you can make that change. So we hit that D5, and then we hit the open D string again, and then what we're going to do is we're going to change this to a G5 over D. So our 1st finger just stays where it is on the G string, and the note on the B string goes from the 10th fret to the 8th fret with your 2nd finger. Then the open low D string again. And now this note on the B string goes from the 7th fret to the 6th fret. So in this case, you're going to have to switch your finger. So how I do it is I just put my 2nd finger where my 1st finger is on the 7th fret of the G, and then move my 1st finger to the 6th fret of the B. Open D again. Now we're going to put our 1st finger back onto the 7th fret of the G, and we're going to take our pinky and go all the way to the 11th fret of the B string, and that's B flat over D. We strum that on the and of 4, and then it's tied to the next measure for the first 3.5 beats, and then on the and of 4 we hit the C5 again. So that's like half of the riff. Alright, so the 2nd half, it starts off the same way. 10 on the B string to the 8 to the 6. Then we're going to come down to that C5 again. And then we're going to just move that chord shape straight up. So now we're on, the 1st finger is on the 3rd fret of the D string, and the 3rd finger is on the 5th fret of the G. 4th finger is on the 5th fret of the B. And we're going to hit that, and then move your pinky up to the 6th fret. So this is on the downbeat of 1. 1, and then we're going to come down and do B flat 5. So it's just like the C5, but we move it down to the 1st fret. And this is really awkward because he reaches up with his pinky and grabs the 5th fret here. And I have a really tough time doing that 90% of the time. So an alternative way you can do it is it's an E, so you can just hit the high E string open, but just try not to get the, you don't want that open B string in there, because with B flat, that's no good. And then the whole thing would just repeat. See, like right there, you hear I hit that B string. That's really tough. Like, so that's the hardest part in that for me, is to be able to get that high E note in there. All right, so there you have it. 3 cool riffs from Queensryche. It's not too terribly tough to play, except for that last one we just talked about at the end of it there. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.